그 가게 마음껏 이용하고 응원해주세요. 동네 가게를 이용할수록 우리 경제가 살아나니까요. 세상 가장 쉬운 응원. 같이 가요. 작은 가게로. 부산 방송광고 발전협의회.
The time is now 7 o'clock.
Busan. Busan is a global hub city, is it not? But what does this mean exactly? It is a process. It's a state of being. It's a series of global events taking place across our city. It's also global level infrastructure such as roads and ports. It's also about global investments flowing into the city. And lastly, it's a state of mind for the people of Busan. This fall is a major moment for this global hub city of Busan, starting with the ongoing Busan Global City Week, one that will propel Busan from our city to a city of the world. I'm Catherine. This is Morning Wave in Busan on Wednesday, September 25th on BEFM 부산 영어 방송. Good morning, everybody. Yes. Wavers out there, you early birds, welcome to our program on this Wednesday morning, if you can believe already. All right. Well, here it is. We are smack in the middle of something called Busan Global City Week. You know, this road to being this like global hub city, though, it goes both ways, taking Busan to the world, but also really bringing the world to Busan. And so we have the world coming to our city via this 2024 Busan Global City Week. This week is a time to solidify the city's relationship with so many of its partners across Europe, to build the city's cooperation across different industries and future projects. And for this, mayors and deputy mayors for Busan's partner cities, for example, Hamburg, Germany, Koper, Slovenia, we have Genova, Italy, and Liverpool in the UK. They are visiting our lovely city. So in fact, today, the mayors and deputy mayors respectively will attend the 2024 Busan Global City Forum, also attended by Mayor Park Hyung-jun. So they're going to be sitting down for a special discussion, sharing their respective cities' visions for a sustainable future. So Busan City sees this as an opportunity for it to strengthen cooperation with these partner cities beyond Asia and to take crucial steps to really become a true global hub city. So we're going to be discussing this throughout our program today. But now it's time for a text topic. Are you ready, Wavers? Here we go. You know, the weather, it is so fickle, and sometimes it can be really difficult to dress appropriately for the weather. So tell us, or actually you can show us your OOTD. What is OOTD? Outfit of the day. Also, what is the most, I would say, the most frequent item or color in your closet? What do you have the most of? Whether, I know lots of people, you always like comment like, oh, you wear a lot of black. I have the most common color in my closet, bar none, is the color black. I love black. Black is chic. Black goes with everything. And I have tons of black blouses, black shirts, black trousers, black jeans. Black is my color. I love black. Or maybe you have an item, like for example, some people love scarves. That's like their go-to item. Some people love belts. Some people love blouses. What is your go-to item or color in your closet? 자, 옷 입기 힘든 간절기, the season right now. 웨이브 여러분, 오늘 착장 알려주세요. What are you wearing? Show us. Send us. The photos, by the way, you have to send through our Kakao Talk. Right? 혹은 사진으로 보내주시면 I will try to describe, or maybe we can even, I know my producer, she's going to shoot me today, but maybe we can... If you allow me, if it's okay, we might upload a couple. We might put stickers over your photos, your faces, if you say don't show the face. Anyhow, what we'll do, she said, is we will show from neck down. We won't show your face, but we definitely want to see your OOTD, the outfit of the day. 그래서 목 밑으로만 보여드릴게요. 그래서 얼굴 안 보여드릴게요. For what you send in. 그래서 목 밑으로 찍어서 보내주시면 더 좋고 우리 에디팅할 시간이 없습니다. 그래서 제일 흔한 옷 색깔 혹은 아이템. 그래서 사진을 목 밑으로 찍어서 보내주시면 we will share to see what you're wearing today. So, by the way, if you're driving, pull over. Don't do it while you're driving, please. You can send in your messages to BFM's live stream, live chat on YouTube. So go to YouTube, search for BEFM, 부산 영어 방송, subscribe, log in, and yes, the lively discussion has already begun. And there's always a competition for who comes in first. Yes, on your phone. Pound 9050. That's going to cost you 101. And today, I hope to see lots of photos coming in through our Kakao Talk board. Also, the ways you can send in your messages and listen to us. 90.5, 103.3 FM on the radio. And like I said on YouTube, we are streaming live as we speak, so you can listen to us and watch us at the same time. Also, Papang app, that is for your convenience. Don't forget to participate in our listener survey. And by the way, we have extended the time, the date to the 29th. Why? Because we value your opinion. And yes, because we're making sure that you pick Morning Wave in Busan as your favorite program. So hence, we have extended the deadline to the 29th. So you have a few more days to make sure you click on your favorite program, Morning Wave in Busan. And you know what to do, right? Let's look ahead to our morning together. So what do we have? We have Leon for hashtag fact check, Jennifer with Skills 101. And because it is 2024 Busan Global City Week, for our special interview today, we have the Busan chapter representative from the European Chamber of Commerce in Korea. He's going to be joining me in studio to get the ins and outs of why it's so important to foster those partnerships between Busan and our partner cities across Europe. So stay tuned for that. That is coming up in hour number 2, and I'll be back with today's headlines. It is now 7:07, and it is time for today's headlines. Yoon's dinner with PPP leadership ends without meaningful discussions. President Yoon Suk-yeol hosted a dinner with the ruling party leadership yesterday, but it ended without having meaningful discussions on sensitive issues about the medical reform and First Lady Kim Gun-hee. Prosecution panel recommends indicting pastor in Kim Gun-hee luxury bag scandal. The prosecution's independent investigation review committee recommended yesterday that Pastor Choi Jae-young should be indicted for gifting a luxury bag and other expensive items to the First Lady. Prosecution considering investigation slush fund linked to Do Tae-woo. Prosecutors are considering whether to investigate a decades-old massive slush fund linked to former President Do Tae-woo after it surfaced in a high-profile divorce suit involving SK Group Chairman Choi Tae-won. Last suspect in Pattaya murder case extradited home after 4 months. The last suspect in the murder of a South Korean tourist in Pattaya, Thailand, was extradited home from Vietnam after more than 4 months on the run. Over 500 dead as Israeli airstrikes in Lebanon continue. Thousands have fled their homes in Lebanon after Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu told them to leave areas where Israel is targeting Hezbollah, as Israel and Hezbollah are trading waves of strikes. And these are today's headlines. It's time to check in with Haley. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes. So we're lucky because we're on camera. Or are we lucky? I don't know.
Well,
We have thoughts on that. But yes, so what's like the most common item or color that you have in your closet?
black is chic, and you know what?
It is.
Black hides stains because as
Depends on the material, though.
Oh my god! Well, as the Korean saying goes,
Yes.
I have a hole in my chin, like 턱에 구멍, ice spill. That's the
Oh,
Korean saying. If
really?
you have a hole in your chin, everything just like dribbles down. I don't know why, but things dribble down, and yeah, it's like a little swatch of what I ate today. So black hides things.
So that's the most common
That's
color?
the most common color. And then I've noticed, it was on my social media, you commented on it, but I weirdly have a lot of vertical stripe shirts, like
A couple
button-down
days ago,
shirts.
I
Because I was wearing
like
one,
so
and
many
then I
stripes.
looked at my closet. I was just kind of cleaning out my closet
Yes.
for summer to fall wardrobe transition. And I was like, why do I have like 4 or 5 striped shirts?
But they're all distinctly
they're
different.
all like red lipstick, like horizontal
Different.
stripes. They're all different.
They are. We insist. They're different.
You don't know.
They're different. All right. We're going to jump into our first update. So, we did talk about that fatal accident in Haeundae where a senior driver hit and killed 2 pedestrians. And turns out this happened inside a school zone.
And why are we finding out about this days later? Because it was a newly designated but yet to be marked school zone.
I see.
So this is a weird case of, well, how are we supposed to know if it's a school zone if it
Right.
doesn't say? So according to Haeundae District Office, that area, Jungdong-Ogui three-way intersection, it was designated as a school zone starting on August 21st. And that's been a month pretty much. And this was upon request from the parents at a newly built apartment complex nearby. The problem is that, once again, it's been over a month at the time of the accident. It had been right around 2 weeks. There was no way for drivers to know that they were inside a school zone because there were no signs, no road paintings, nor fences. And the district said that the delay happened because of budget issues. So the district's council member criticized that the area had been under constant requests not only from the parents, but the school itself as well to be marked as a school zone, clearly marked at that.
I see.
However, the problem is that this is apparently one of many such cases because the National Police Agency survey from last year showed that of the 16,000 school zones across the country, only about 60% had those fences that they're supposed to.
But those fences are so important. Keeps the students safe. Well, unfortunately, that's what's going on with that incident or accident. Next up, Busan City is taking steps to tend to its empty, abandoned houses. And we talked about this before.
We have, because they are a big issue, especially in certain districts, mostly
Right.
in the original city center, because, well, number one, they are a safety issue. If a building is not tended to, it could collapse, especially with weather conditions being what they are. And then it can lead to a slumification of that neighborhood. So certain neighborhoods, they have seen an increase in these abandoned empty homes.
Yes.
But there's been a lot of confusion as to exactly how many empty homes are there because the numbers differ depending on what entity is conducting the survey.
Right.
And of course, a lot of these empty homes are, in some cases, they're unregistered homes. So they kind of they fall through the cracks. So Busan City is actually going to attend a pan-governmental task force on these empty houses. And it'll propose a unified system to count these empty homes. And on top of that, it'll also request a prompt survey of these homes and government funding for local municipalities to launch their respective response measures.
I see.
And an official from Busan City said that Busan is actually the only metropolitan city in the country that has been classified as a region that's at risk of going extinct.
Oh my goodness.
So as such, the problem of empty homes is not something that the city can handle with just its own budget and requires national attention.
I see. All right, we're going to leave that issue there for now. We'll move on to our next local update. Busan City has raised its living wages for next year.
Right, so this is a little bit different from the minimum wage, but
Yes.
Busan City's living wage panel finalized next year's living wages as 11,917 won per hour. So how are these two wages different, living versus minimum? Well, living wages are often higher than the minimum wage because it takes things into consideration like prices, the cost of
Yes.
living, rent for that particular area, and basically calculates how much you need to make to actually make a living, to survive off of it. So Busan's living wage panel considered high consumer prices, other cities' increase in wages and spending, and as well as consumer spending, and finalized that figure at once again 11,917 won per hour for a full-time monthly salary. That would be 2.49 million won per month.
Right.
So 249만 won. And this is, by the way, a 5% increase from this year. And that 5% figure is the highest out of all 17 cities and provinces. And by the way, that figure will apply to some 3,000 laborers who have contracts with Busan City and or public institutions.
I see. All right. This is a big home, speaking of home, that has been left empty, but it just went through a pretty huge renovation project,
It's
right?
been all over my social
Yes.
media feed. So the old mayoral residence in Busan, it's been renovated and is now, starting today, open to the public.
Ooh.
So this old residence is located in Namcheon-dong. It was built back in 1985. What was originally to be kind of the summer/regional home of the president. So it was called the Busan Cheongwade, and that was built under former President Chun Doo-hwan. But that was turned to the mayoral residence. But then for years, it had been left empty. But the thing is, it was because of who commissioned it. It was kind of the symbol of the old authoritarianism regime. But it had gone through the necessary renovations. And by the way, for K-drama fans, this was the home that was featured for Chairman Jin Yang-cheol of the K-drama Reborn Rich, or 재벌집 막내 아들. So last year, Busan City assigned 8.7 billion won budget and revamped this structure, and
Yes.
it's now called Domohon, and it means space for the people, and under architect Cheok. So the new structure does stay true to the original work, which was designed by South Korea's first-generation architect Kim Jung-up, but it also adds some modern interpretations. And that space is open to the public from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. on weekdays, and then until 9 p.m. on weekends. And there's actually a branch of a very famous local coffee shop inside that structure as
Okay.
well. That's once again been making rounds on my social media. And there will be a lot of events for families put on there as well. So definitely check it out.
Sounds good. And by the way, the photo of that's so beautiful.
Beautiful. And
Nice.
It is outdoor season. So yeah.
Perfect. The season right now, the weather we're having. All right, up next, a couple major food-related events are happening in Busan.
It's also eating season. It's also
Yes.
great culinary season.
It's always eating season.
It's facts. But mark your calendars for the Busan International Food Expo on October 4th through the 6th at Bexco.
Yes.
So this is a chance for you to experience the gourmet city that is Busan. And because this year is actually the 140th anniversary of Busan and Italy's diplomatic relations opening, there will be a special booth on Italian food. And I mean, my mouth is just watering. A
Yes.
Spanish food booth, food from Buddhist temples, and of course, local Busan fare. There will be cooking demonstrations for, from Michelin star rated chefs, and also a food court. And then in conjunction with this is the Busan Marina Chef Challenge with 300 people competing for that title.
Oh, love it. Yes.
And on that the streaming site, there's like a really uber popular cooking show going on.
Yes.
And I like that it kind of ties into that, so chef's challenges and cooking shows are definitely popular. So you get to see a live version of that.
Well, thank you for going over all the updates. We'll check in with you real soon with the news. Now it's back to you, the waivers, because we're talking about how it's kind of that in-between season. We're transitioning into fall. And I'm so happy because finally I can wear kind of like a jacket instead of just like, tops and blouses. So we want to know, or you can show us maybe, your OOTD. That's your term for today. Outfit of the day. So, by the way, what's the most common item or color in your closet too? So a lot of people were asking oh, I heard something, but they don't know what the text topic is. because 사진을 어떤 거를 보내주시냐면 목 밑으로 아니, 얼굴 안 보내주셔도 되고요. 목 밑으로 사진을 보내주시면 outfit of the day means what you're wearing. 오늘 의상이 무엇인지. So we actually do have our very first waiver who sent in a photo, and it is 신정은님, and we're posting the photo on our YouTube channel, and it says 정장 style. Oh, beautiful. 입으셨네요. And it looks like maybe she I'm assuming she is headed to work, and it looks like a very beige, maybe blouse and black slacks. So thank you for that. That's a very good combination. It really goes. It's perfect for work. All right, so we're going to get to your traffic and weather. It is now 7:20. Here's your traffic report. A bus is broken down on the Dongso overpass coming into the city. That's right past the Kamdon ramp. So please be aware of that. It's causing some backup. Also looking congested on the Dongso overpass from Bumnikor ramp to the old Kaegum tollgate. Also slow on Luno Samsungdaero from Myeongji underpass to Shinho Bridge. As for the weather, it's currently 20 degrees Celsius under partially cloudy skies. It's going to go back to near summer-like temperatures with a daytime high of 29 degrees. Rain is forecast for this afternoon. However, across the nation, light rain is forecast sporadically with thunder and lightning forecast in some areas. This was your traffic and weather.
Are you an early bird? Are you up to date on the news? Are you a trendsetter? For all of the biggest issues from Busan to the world and useful information you need, right here on Morning Wave in Busan.
It's time for News Digest. So we have Haley with us. We're going to dive into the first bit of news. This was the highly anticipated parliamentary questioning of the Korea Football Association, KFA, executives and head coach Hong Myung-bo yesterday.
Right. So carrying the story from Andrew yesterday, this was a questioning over the appointment of the Korea soccer team as head coach Hong Myung-bo, because the KFA was criticized for allegedly pleading with Hong while he was serving at another post to take that position rather than putting him through a full vetting process like they did or they should have done with the other candidates. So lawmakers posed questions to whether there was pressure and coaxing within the meetings to elect Hong, because he and the other candidate, David Wagner, both received 7 votes in at least one of the rounds.
Yes.
So the KFA president, he denied that he nor the organization sought to cover up anything regarding the hiring, nor they had any one person in mind when they began this process. Jung Mong-gyu also explained that he wanted to protect the privacy of the other candidates whose talks with the KFA had fallen through or who were removed from the consideration in various stages. And interestingly, Jung also kind of blamed or at least pointed to the size of the Korean football market for not being, quote, big enough to select a coach that would satisfy our fans whenever we want, unquote. And he also added that he felt bad for Coach Hong Myung-bo for having to go through this process.
Well, we also want to hear what Hong had to say on this issue.
Right, so he put his foot down and denied accusations of ever having received preferential treatment. And he said he accepted the job because the technical director told him that he was the number one candidate. And when asked point blank, actually, whether he would resign, he said no. He insisted that he's not going anywhere. And now that he has been put in charge through a proper process, his goal is to make the Korean soccer team stronger. But there was one rather sudden resignation from the technical director, Im Seng. So he, during his questioning, was bombarded with questions from lawmakers about problems with the coach selection process, which he was in charge of. He actually got choked up. He got teary-eyed and actually said, well, this issue has to do with his honor, so he will therefore resign. So that was what it was.
The technical director is stepping down, but not Hong nor Chung.
Yeah, so that's where we are.
Okay. Well, we're going to move on for now. We're going to get into some stories related to the state of the country's welfare. Basic pension. This is a key source of income for many seniors, but apparently this can also be a double-edged sword.
Right. So apparently basic pension is almost useless for seniors in the lowest income group that are actually the most in need of it.
Yes.
So according to the Health and Welfare Ministry data released by Reform Korea Party lawmaker Kim Seon-min,
Yes.
there are over 670,000 seniors who are on both the basic pension, which is 기초연금, and also are recipients of the basic livelihood support, or 생계급여, which is kind of like food stamps.
Right.
So basic pension is given to seniors who are in the lowest 70% of the income group, and that's about 300,000 won per month, so about 30만 won. And then the basic livelihood support, once again, kind of like food stamps. But here's the thing about these income-based support measures. Number one, kind of obvious, but they are based on your income. And number two, they're not double applied, so you can't double dip. So you can't
I see.
qualify for both, or at least if you do, the other one can be deducted.
I see.
So this is where a problem comes in.
Right.
So say a senior citizen who's on kind of the cusp of that 70% income line, who would qualify for both the basic pension and the livelihood support, because that person is clearly in need of both. But then when they receive their basic pension, when that money gets deposited into his or her account, that increases their income level. Then what if their income level goes to 71%?
Then they would not be eligible
Yeah.
for...
or they would get the money deducted. So on average, these seniors saw a cut of 324,000 won, which is pretty much the entirety of their basic pension payment of 334,000 won. So
Sure.
after the deduction, they're literally left with 만 won. $10, or actually under $10.
Right.
So the government did promise that their pension reform, in their pension reform, to not apply the deduction for those who are living in poverty. And the lawmaker who released his figures also said that Parliament needs to do its best to fix that problem.
Oh, absolutely. Because, I mean, the whole point is this is for people who really need it. And they should be getting it.
Right.
All right. So while we're on the topic of poverty, there is a surprisingly high level of malnutrition in the country. And like when we think of like the word malnutrition, isn't that like 영양실조?
영양실조. And I'm like, in this day and age,
Right.
in Korea, where we simultaneously also talk about high obesity rates, which is shocking. But between 2019 and the first half this year, a total of 63,000 people have been treated for malnutrition. So the numbers actually hit a peak during the COVID pandemic, jumping
Right.
from 6,000 in 2019 and triple that last year. And so far this year, over 8,000 people have been treated for malnutrition. And the cases are, of course, most prominent in lower income levels, and then about 85% were senior citizens.
Yes.
So lawmaker Jeon Jin-suk of the Democratic Party, who released the figures, said that for the average people, for everyday people, some are at a situation where they cannot sustain a basic level of nutrition, and called for a really tight-knit welfare system to guarantee this minimal level of quality in life.
Yes, indeed. All right, lastly, we're going to get to what's happening. Of course, internationally, geopolitical conflicts escalating with Israel's war expanding to Lebanon now with Hezbollah. But, you know, these wars are also posing threats apparently to like airplanes, right?
To civilian
Flights.
airlines, so how we fly. So
Yes.
according to the Wall Street Journal, they reported that what's called GPS spoofing, it's become so common that it's actually sending fake signals to civilian aircrafts. So this is happening because airstrikes that use drones and missiles, they have become the norm, the primary form of warfare. And we're talking about the multiple wars going on, Russia versus Ukraine,
Yes.
as well as Israel with Hamas and Hezbollah. So all sides are trying to jam the other's GPS signals by sending fake signals, and that's called GPS spoofing.
Yes.
This is a form of electronic warfare. And the thing is, though, who uses GPS? Well, the rest of the world,
Right.
civilians, airlines, and they use GPS to navigate their flights, and these flights are also being affected. So according to the University of Zurich survey with SKAI Data Services, there was about a dozen or so flights affected by GPS years back, GPS spoofing back in February, months back. But then in just a span of a few months in August, that jumped to 1,100 cases per day.
Oh my goodness. Per day.
Per day.
So what exactly happened?
So, for example, September of last year, there was a case because of GPS spoofing. A civilian aircraft almost entered the Iranian airspace.
Oh, goodness.
Which would have been
Disastrous,
dangerous,
yes.
right? And there are also other cases where a fake signal put the wrong route for the flight's GPS, and that happened to an Airbus flight that took off from Cyprus back in July. Another case with a Boeing aircraft, it lost signal. And this is so dangerous, literally 50 feet off the ground while it was landing. That's 15 meters. So it actually had to quickly get back up into the air.
Oh, goodness.
And once again, 15 meters off the ground. Thankfully, at least according to experts, these aren't major incidents, and the pilots are being trained to discern real versus fake GPS and also fly the flight without GPS. But then it does distract them.
Of
If there
course.
are emergency situations like storms and others on top of this happening, well, then it could be catastrophic.
Think about it this way, Waivers. Do or would you want your pilot to be distracted by fake GPS?
I mean,
I would not.
as a driver, do you know how much I panic if sometimes the GPS
yes.
in your car like gets
Glitches.
lost?
Yes.
And I'm like, so am I
I
turning
panic.
left or not?
Right.
Like, what am I doing? But that plus 1,000 because you're in the air with,
I yell at my GPS.
Yeah.
I say things that I
I do
shouldn't.
too. I
And
do too.
I can't imagine on a flight. So I'm
Right.
just saying,
So,
you know.
yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for all the news. We'll check in with you in hour number 2. Thank you, Haley.
See you in a bit.
All right, back to the waivers out there. So we are getting in some photos. By the way, you can send your OOTD, your outfit of the day, through the Kakao Talk channel or pound 9050. That's going to cost 101. However, if you could please send your photos neck down. 그래서 목 아래까지 사진 보내주시면 웨이브들과 유튜브에서 함께 할 겁니다. So send them in and we'll share. All right, here is our next song. So here it is. This is Made You Look by Meghan Trainor.
I could have my Gucci on. I go wear my Louis Vuitton. But even with nothing on, bet I made you look. I made you look. I'll make you double take soon as I walk away. Call up your chiropractor just in case your neck break. Ooh, tell me what you gonna do? Ooh. Cause I'm about to make a scene, double up that sunscreen. I'm about to turn the heat up, gonna make your glasses steam. Ooh, tell me what you gonna do? Ooh. When I do my walk, I can guarantee you drop. Cause they don't make a lot of what I got. Ladies, if you feel me, this your pop. I could have my Gucci on. I go wear my Louis Vuitton. But even with nothing on, bet I made you look. I made you look. Yeah, I look good in my Versace dress. But I'm hotter when my morning hair's a mess. Cause even with my hoodie on, bet I made you look. I made you look. And once you get a taste, you'll never be the same. This ain't that ordinary, this that 14 karat cake. Ooh, tell me what you gonna do? Ooh, when I do my walk, I can guarantee you trouble. Cause they don't make a lot of what I got. Ladies, if you feel me, this your pop. I could have my Gucci on. I could wear my Louis Vuitton. But even with nothing on, bet I made you look. Said I made you look. Yeah, I look good in my Versace dress. But I'm hotter when my morning hair's a mess. Cause even with my hoodie on, bet I made you look. Said I made you look.
Welcome back, everybody. It's 7:33. Our producer is having a field day because she's enjoying editing all your photos right now and trying to put them up there. So bear with us. Okay, we're going to get to our main story, though. Top story today, very important. We're talking about Busan's steps towards becoming a real, true global city. And what are we doing to become that? For the first few days of next month, Busan is going to really try to go global with visitors pouring in from around the world for its festival, Siwol. And this is an integration of all of Busan's October events, ranging from the Busan International Film Festival, BIFF, the International Rock Festival, and 15 other events going on. That is huge. The festivals are grouped into categories by music, film, live performances, and food. And visitors can get discounts on these tickets. The goal is to bring 450,000 visitors across these events for the first run of Festival Siwol. Busan City has been conducting real-time checkups and crackdowns against any potential rip-offs and violations of Food Sanitation Act to make sure everyone has a pleasant time at the festivals and that everyone is also safe. So that's what's going on and what we can look forward to. That's coming up in September. But right now, we are in the midst of 2024 Busan Global City Week. So we're going to have a special interview regarding that coming up in hour number 2. But back to you, the listeners. We are talking now about the weather being, kind of fickle. We're in between weathers, summer, fall-ish. Well, what is your OOTD, outfit of the day? What are you wearing? And what do you have the most of in your closet? Most of you, if you tune into our program, whether it's, through the radio or through our YouTube channel, I wear a lot of black. And people might think, do you wear the same thing every day? No, I have just lots of black blouses and tops, and you can't see from the waist down. I have lots of black pants as well. They're all different. To me, they're all very different. For those of you viewing, you might think, why does she always wear the same thing? They're not the same. Anyhow, so we've been telling you to send in your OOTD through our Kakao Talk or pound 9050. That's going to cost you 101. And if you do send in your photo, please from the neck down that we can share with our other waivers through our YouTube channel. So are we ready for a few? Okay, so we have another waiver who just sent this in. This is Chiu Waiver. She says, on my way to work with my go-to bag with Dokdo badge. Look at that. And so I love that Dokdo badge. That's so meaningful too. So as I sent to Jiu, thank you so much for tuning in, sending your photo. And I believe we have another one as well. And this is Michael Kim, who is 3221님, who sent in this photo through our pound 9050. And I think this is very... the white t-shirt and jeans, if I had a choice, if I were not on radio, like on YouTube, I would be, if I were not teaching today, that's what I would be wearing. T-shirt and jeans, I promise you. But hence, I gotta look appropriate, like, a 교사, a professor. So hence the outfit. And we have one more. Oh, who is this? Is this Lee Kelly? It says new protective gear day. Amazing. The jean on jean, right? Denim on denim is what I'm getting from the vibes. And he's wearing that protective mask. 너무 멋있어요, 근데. 그렇지 않아요? Yes. So that is what's going on. And by the way, I know some of you, like Tommy was saying, he's not allowed to take photos at work. But so he usually wears like jeans and a white or black t-shirt as well. All right, we'll post more of your photos. But in the meantime, we got to get to Kat's pick for today. I have to warn you, today's Kat's pick, it's not a happy one. It is graphic. Trigger warning. Because it's all about Sean P. Diddy Combs. I don't even know what name he goes by, because not only are there updates and there's visuals of the arrest, but now there is another new alleged victim. So let's get to the clip from ABC News and KTLA.
New surveillance video shows Combs being taken into custody in a Manhattan hotel last week.
This morning, watch how federal agents took Sean Diddy Combs into custody. He's seen in this video entering the Park Hyatt Hotel in Midtown Manhattan with others when agents from Homeland Security Investigations approach and separate him. They place Combs under arrest and lead him out the front door in handcuffs. His lawyer said Combs had come to New York 2 weeks earlier with the intention of turning himself in. He did not expect the agents to be waiting at his hotel last Monday night. A day earlier, Combs seen out and about in New York with his family, seemingly in good spirits. Combs has pleaded not guilty to racketeering, conspiracy, sex trafficking, and prostitution charges. At the center of the case, this 2016 video obtained by CNN that depicts Combs attacking his then-girlfriend, the singer Cassie, and then dragging her back toward a hotel room. Federal prosecutors said the video is powerful evidence of how dangerous the hip-hop mogul could be to women, part of why 2 different federal judges denied him bail.
Now at 1, a new accuser is speaking out against disgraced music mogul Sean Diddy Combs, claiming he raped her more than 20 years ago at a recording studio in New York City.
She was 25 years old, dating one of Combs' employees. Combs asked her to come into the studio with him and his security guard, Joseph Sherman. In the lawsuit, Graves states she remembers having a drink before she lost consciousness. And this is a trigger warning regarding sexual assault. Graves said when she woke up, she was tied up and being raped by the 2 men, Combs and his security guard, forced to perform sex acts that are too graphic to share. Graves explains the turmoil she says she had suffered since that night.
The internal pain after being sexually assaulted has been incredibly deep and hard to put into words. It goes beyond just physical harm caused by and during the assault. Some of the hardest parts of this pain are the shame and the guilt I have experienced that plays a negative part in my day-to-day ability to function properly, being blamed, questioned, and threatened.
Graves in the lawsuit says that Combs threatened to ruin her life if she ever spoke about what happened.
So like I said, I did give you the warning, but still really, really graphic content. And I have to say, Graves is the latest woman who has so bravely stepped up. And there are many more who have already filed lawsuits. And I have a feeling there are going to be many more. And it's a definite huge fall from grace. So this was Kat's pick for today.
Stay tuned. You're listening to Morning Wave in Busan.
It is now time for hashtag fact check with Leon. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Did you know about our text topic ahead of time?
Yes, on my way here.
We need to know.
I was like, what's the
Can
main
we show
color?
your OOTD?
Oh, yes.
Can you stand up?
This is my color today.
Ooh,
It's,
so pretty.
Beige, because it's fall.
Uh-huh.
And black, because we all have black in our
Black is...
closet.
I know, because I was saying on air. Is it...
I'm too excited to talk about
I know.
this. You can tell.
Because Leanna was saying she loves our text topic today. OOTD.
I have so many-
I love it.
So are you going to ask me what the main color is in my closet?
of
I'm
course.
already like ready to answer.
You're like, ask me. Come on, hurry up, Kat.
I'm like, hurry.
So, what's like the most common item or color in your closet?
It used to be black.
Okay, but now?
White, gray, and navy. Because that's just the color of Korea, right?
The color of Korea.
That is the color of Korea. That is
Okay.
what I learned when I first came to Korea. I was like, we don't wear colors here. We go with white, black,
basics.
gray, or white.
Okay.
Yes. But I got my personal color.
Oh.
Personal color.
Oh, personal color 뭐예요?
Personal color. She told me pastel.
Pastel colors.
Pastel pink, pastel blue, coral. So it's becoming more fun these days.
Oh, really?
Like beige, I never really tried out before either.
It looks really good on you.
Yeah, but she
Right.
said if you can't go for like the coral and the pastel blue if that's too
Try
much.
beige?
I was like, that's too much. In Korea, that's like, I'm going to be a clown. But she said, okay,
wearing
you should try
pastel
beige.
blue. Am I a
Oh,
clown?
I love it. And it looks so good. It's your personal goal.
근데-
But she said, yeah, black.
Because you can't do all.
we have to always tone it down.
Yeah,
with
yeah.
our
We got to tone it
black.
down with black.
'Cause we're like a little bit soshim. But
Yes.
that is my wardrobe these days.
That's right.
Black and white with colors of pastels.
Outfit is 10 out of 10 for Leon, Benny says.
Oh, yay.
Yay. Woohoo.
Beige,
So,
everyone.
I know we need more of these text topics, right?
Yeah.
Our producer is like shaking her head like never again. She's never doing one
I
of
was
these
like,
again.
should I take a photo of my neck down and then send
it in, right?
But you let me do the twirl around.
Yes,
so.
yes. All right. We're going to have to jump in to
Yes. To the last fun topic of what
Yes.
I've prepared today,
yes.
which is, can drinking water help you lose weight?
Oh, before we get in, I got to
Yes,
read
yes.
this. Someone sent in little Goldman waivers. 상위 제품 정보 알려줄 수
Me?
있어요?
my God.
But not on air. We can't say the brand name.
Right,
so
right.
Later
Yeah,
on,
but-
I'll post it. Leon will
예쁘죠?
tell me. Okay. Now we're going to get into
Yes.
Leon's topic, which is can
Drinking water. I need to drink water right now.
Yeah. Okay, so as Leon is drinking, she was trying to say, can drinking water help you lose weight?
Right.
Okay.
And also, you know how we say, 물배 찼다, 물배 찼어, so I can't eat anymore.
Right.
Is that true? Like if drinking water, lots of water before a meal,
Yes.
will it really make you sufficiently full enough to eat less? That is what we're going to talk about today. So what do you think? Do you think 물배 차 can actually make you eat less? Like
I think
net?
so. Well, for me, like it's, haven't we all heard this? Like if you, drink water first and that'll make you feel fuller. I don't know.
Yeah.
We've all heard it at some point.
Right.
I kind of think it's true because I've tried it at least on for me personally, I
you've
feel
tried it.
fuller. Like, after water, I feel like I can't eat as much. Physically, I just feel like, much fuller.
Right. There's definitely something there. Right.
Yeah.
I actually thought it didn't really help because I digest really fast. So water is like as you drink going down
for you,
so
it's
fast.
just one
So I
in
feel
and
like
out.
in the end I eat just equally the same amount. I don't know about water making me full. So that was my thing. But actually you were right. The answer is yes.
Yes.
Drinking water before meals can actually can help you reduce your food intake.
Right.
But there is an amount of water that you should intake. So there was a study from the Harrison's Principles of Internal Medicine which showed that healthy young adults who fasted for 10 hours and then ate, and they were compared with two different groups.
Yes.
One group drank about 500 milliliters of water before their meals. And the other group did not drink. The results showed that the group that drank the 500 milliliters of water consumed 22% fewer calories.
Oh.
And they also reported feeling less hungry and more satisfied after eating.
Yes.
Which is a surprising part.
Have some water, Leon.
Yeah.
Yes, because because of your throat. I don't want you to. Yes. So as Leon was saying, apparently in at least in the group one, it might be true. Fewer calories.
Right.
Yes.
And
okay.
so basically, for those who are drinking before their meals, their calorie intake is a quarter less, which is quite a big
That's
amount
a lot
of calorie, right?
Yes.
But again, like I mentioned before, the water, you do digest it quite fast compared to other.
Especially like for Leon, she says it's like,
I'm just like zip.
Okay.
I feel. So people wonder, isn't it just like a temporary measure?
Is it temporary?
Yeah. So drinking water before does help you feel fuller and eat less. But water is absorbed quickly.
Yes.
So it is best to drink at least 500 milliliters of water. And not just water, but mix it with some fiber to stay full longer. And when we say fiber, we're talking about in Korean chajeonjapi. Have you tried mixing in the psyllium husk? You've never tried chajeonjapi?
No. It works. Is it good?
It's good for...
It's good for going number 2?
This is,
okay.
it's good for 변비. This
Yes,
is
for
not bad.
constipation,
Yeah, for constipation.
digestion.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, I'm surprised because a lot of people have tried 차전자피 around me.
Okay.
And I've tried.
차전자피, I got to try that.
Yeah, it really makes you full, but you have to make sure you drink lots and lots of water. Because it gets
Does it
bloated.
expand?
Yes, a lot in your stomach.
Okay.
So if you just eat that on alone, it will be bad for you.
Okay.
1 second, please.
Yes, drink some water. So we've been talking about the fact that food, of course, the water, 500 milliliters, as Leon said, with some fiber to help you stay a little fuller longer.
Yes.
So what about this whole idea that it's unhealthy for you to drink water in the middle of your meals? Because I've heard lots of older people, including my roommate, who always says oh, don't drink in the middle of the meal. I do all the time. I just ignore him. Because I'm, and you know what? I don't care. He says oh, try to drink warm water. I drink my warm water in the morning. Everything else, I'm sorry, is iced water. I have a huge ice dispenser. I can't get rid of it because I love iced water.
Right.
That's
Even
just
in
me.
the winter,
in the
you
winter,
mentioned.
I'm an ice water kind of gal. Yes.
So you're the smart one because as of yesterday, I stopped caring about drinking water in
the
between
middle?
my meals because
Really?
it doesn't matter.
It doesn't.
It doesn't matter too much unless you have.
I'm mad. Yes.
You should tell your partner today.
Yes.
Leon says
It does not matter. I have proof.
because it's just an old saying that elders are saying out of concern.
Yes.
Because it matters for people who have had surgery, who have had digestive problems on a regular basis.
But if you're healthy,
If you're healthy,
It's okay?
It's okay. And you know what the more surprising part is? According to Michael Pico, who is an
Yes.
assistant professor of medicine at College of Medicine, Mayo Clinic,
Yes.
says drinking water actually helps dilute the salt in your food and reduce irritation in your stomach during your meals. So if you're eating spicy, salty foods, which we Koreans do most often, and you're feeling thirsty during a meal, it's actually a good idea to drink water.
well,
You know
I
what?
just feel
I did
so
not know
vindicated.
that.
I feel so vindicated.
All my 34 years of life, I felt so guilty drinking a lot of water because of all the brainwashing that my parents did to me. You drink water like that.
advice that we've
You're
been
gonna
getting.
always have an upset stomach, but now I track back my memory. Did I ever have an upset stomach after drinking
No.
water?
Because it's good for you.
I just felt hydrated.
Yeah, you feel
is
better.
all.
Especially if you have something salty or spicy. I mean, how can you not drink water?
That's even worse for you, I feel like. You need to dilute it.
We're getting so angry. We're like,
my life. Everyone, wavers out there,
decades.
were you guys restraining yourself like I was?
yes.
Yes, so this was kind of a ding moment for me yesterday.
What about on the flip side, this idea of fasting from everything but water to lose weight? What about that?
Yeah, so there's a very popular 72-hour
extreme fasting
yes,
diet.
just only drinking water and just nothing else. To no one's surprise, yes, it helps with the diet.
I'm sure you'll lose some kilos,
And
but
it could have major side effects.
yes.
But still, I don't think we have time to go in very deep, but I've heard many positive sides of fasting for 72 hours with just drinking water. Because it does. One thing that I learned yesterday was that because your cells, they don't have anything to absorb anymore because you're not eating, they start eating up the leftover toxins and the waste that's been accumulating in your body as an
because of the whole
energy source.
ketosis thing.
Ketosis, yes. So a lot of actually doctors and nutritionists recommend, not often though,
Just
once in half a year maybe.
every 6 months,
Right.
once a year, not on a weekly basis.
Right, but the 3-month fasting will definitely help you get rid of your toxins in your body, and that's recommended. But
3-day, but that's very occasionally. And of course, we're not doctors.
We're not
So check
doctors.
with your doctor first.
yes.
All right, we're going to end it on that note. And we're going to let you rest that lovely throat of yours.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for sharing not just information, your OOTD of the day, your outfit of the day. Leon's so happy today. I've never seen you so animated for Morning Wave of Busan.
pastel next week.
어,
Everyone
피디님
pastel
이런 거 우리
color.
자주 해야 되겠어요. 리안 씨 너무 딴 사람인데요. 다른 사람. She's shaking her head. She says no.
She's like, no.
We need a camera on her. She's like, no, that's her reaction. No. Well, rest up and we'll check in with you next week. Thank you, Leon.
Bye bye.
All right. Well, it's time to wrap up. This is 한 페이지가 될 수 있게 by day 6. So enjoy. I'll be back at 8.
솔직히 말할게 많이 기다려왔어. 너도 그랬을 거라 믿어. 오늘이 오길 매일같이 달력을 보면서 솔직히 나에게도 지금 이 순간은 꿈만 같아. 너와 함께라. 오늘을 위해 그 많은 걸 준비해봤어. All about 그엔 나의 다른 건 다 제쳐두고 Commitment in my hand. 아름다운 청춘의 한 잔 함께 써내려가자. 너의 추억들로 가득 채울래. 아무 걱정도 하지는 마. 나에게 다 맡겨봐. 지금 이 순간이 다시 넘겨볼 수 있는 한 페이지가 될 수 있게. 솔직히 말할게 지금이 오기까지 마냥 순탄하진 않았지. 오늘이 오길 나도 못 받아라 기다렸어. 솔직히 나보다 더 네가 몇 배는 더 힘들었을 거라고 믿어. 오늘을 위해 그저 견뎌줘서 고마워. All about 그엔 나의 다른 건 다 제쳐두고 Commitment in my hand. 아름다운 청춘의 한 잔 함께 써내려가자. 너만큼 추억들로 가득 채울래. 아무 걱정도 하지는 마. 나에게 다 맡겨봐. 지금 이 순간이 다시 넘겨볼 수 있는
Your Bridge to the World. BEFM 부산 영어 방송.
다운이 실내 건조 세탁 세제. 습한 실내 건조 시 빽빽히 널린 빨래는 냄새를 만들죠. 다운이 실내 건조 세탁 세제. 보이지 않는 얼룩과 냄새를 싹. 세탁 세제도 역시 다운이.
부산의 축제 어디까지 즐겨보셨나요? 과거와 현재, 미래가 공존하는 항구도시 부산. 이곳 부산은 계절을 물들이는 다양한 축제로 늘 풍성합니다. 봄의 시작을 알리는 봄꽃 축제부터 부산의 여름을 만끽하는 바다축제, 전 세계 영화인들이 모이는 부산국제영화제와 새로운 시작의 해맞이 축제까지. 부산의 축제는 우리의 열정을 가득 담고 있습니다. 바쁜 일상은 잠시 뒤로하고 특별한 시간을 선물 받는 바로 이곳 부산에서 우리의 삶은 축제가 됩니다. 축제로 하나 되는 부산. 여러분은 어떤 축제를 기다리시나요? 이 캠페인은 대선공익재단과 BFM 부산 영어방송이 함께합니다.
혹시 지금 운전 중이신가요? 어린이 교통사고 피해자 수는 지난 3년 평균 약 9만 명. 특히 어린이 보호구역 안전기준이 강화된 이후에도 어린이 보호구역 내 사고는 지속적으로 발생하고 있습니다. 스쿨존에서는 반드시 시속 30km 이하 서행, 스쿨존 내 불법 주정차 금지, 차량 출발 전 앞뒤 좌우 살피는 습관으로 어린이가 안전한 도시를 만듭니다. 참, 운전 중 휴대전화 사용은 모두에게 위험합니다. 우리 모두를 위한 교통안전, 나부터 실천하면 모두가 안전해집니다. 어린이가 안전하게 뛰어놀 수 있는 부산. 아이 키우기 좋은 도시는 우리 모두의 미래이자 희망입니다. 이 캠페인은 어린이가 안전한 부산을 만드는 은행, B&K 부산은행과 함께합니다.
부산 글로벌 도시재단 대표이사 전용호입니다. 부산은 대한민국의 굳건한 성장 동력으로서 물류, 금융, 영상, 관광, 문화, 디지털, 첨단 산업의 중심지인 글로벌 허브 도시로 나아가고 있습니다. 이를 위해 부산 글로벌 도시재단은 부산을 대표하는 도시 외교의 플랫폼을 지향합니다. 세계 평화도시 부산의 브랜드를 강화하는 부산 UN-유크와 부산 글로벌 도시포럼, 유라시아 도시외교단, 개발협력 포럼, 그리고 세계 시민축제는 부산의 소프트파워의 상징으로 자리매김하고 있습니다. 부산 영어방송도 시민과 함께 영어하기 편한 도시, 세계와 경쟁하며 더불어 살아가는 부산을 만들어가겠습니다. 시민이 행복한 글로벌 허브 도시 부산, 부산 글로벌 도시재단이 함께합니다.
The time is now 8 o'clock.
Good morning,
Dynamic Busan.
yeah, you're waking up. Time to shake it up. Tell the world good morning and find out what's going on.
Well, hi there, folks. There's everything from comedy to lively chat to music.
Broadcasting from a room about the size of your closet.
All calls are recorded. What show is this?
Live from Korea's dynamic city, this is Morning Wave in Busan.
I'm sorry, who'd you say you were?
It is now 8 o'clock. This is News Highlights. Yoon's dinner with PPP leadership ends without meaningful discussions. President Yoon Suk-yeol hosted a dinner with the ruling party leadership yesterday, but it ended without having meaningful discussions on sensitive issues about the medical reform and First Lady Kim Gun-hee. The meeting with People Power Party PPP Chairman Han Dong-hoon, floor leader Chu Kyung-ho, and Supreme Council members was the second such gathering following Han's election in July. During the meeting, Yoon shared details about his recent trip to the Czech Republic and encouraged the leadership, but no discussions took place on sensitive issues in the closed-door meeting, nor did the one-on-one meeting Han Dong-hoon requested with the president take place. Prosecution panel recommends indicting pastor in Kim Gun-hee luxury bag scandal. The prosecution's Independent Investigation Review Committee recommended yesterday that Pastor Choi Jae-young be indicted for gifting a luxury bag and other expensive items to First Lady Kim Gun-hee. In an 8-7 decision, the panel of outside called for Choi's indictment over charges of violating the anti-graft law. But on defamation charges, the panel advised against Choi's indictment in a 14-1 decision. This comes as the prosecution decided not to indict the First Lady over the bag scandal. The prosecution is not required to follow the panel's decision. Prosecution considering investigating slush fund linked to Roh Tae-woo. Prosecutors are considering whether to investigate a decades-old massive slush fund linked to former President Roh Tae-woo after it surfaced in a high-profile divorce suit involving SK Group Chairman Choi Tae-won. A week earlier, a complaint was filed calling an investigation into 9 individuals, including Choi and his estranged wife, Roh So-young, the daughter of the late former president, and her mother on suspicions of concealing the slush fund and tax evasion. The Seoul Central District Prosecutor's Office has assigned the complaint to its Criminal Proceeds Confiscation Division, which will review the details of the complaint to determine whether to launch an investigation or dismiss it. Last suspect in Pattaya murder case extradited home after 4 months. The last suspect in the murder of a South Korean tourist in Pattaya, Thailand, was extradited home from Vietnam after more than 4 months on the run. The suspect, a man in his 30s, is accused of killing a South Korean traveler, also in his 30s, and abandoning the body in Pattaya in early May in collusion with 2 other Koreans who are currently undergoing trial. Vietnamese police raided the suspect's hideout in Vietnam and arrested him on September 12th. The South Korean authorities requested a speedy extradition, citing the gravity of the crime and public interest in the case. Over 500 dead as Israeli airstrikes in Lebanon continue. Israel and Hezbollah are trading waves of strikes a day after Israeli attacks targeting the militant group killed more than 500 people across Lebanon. Thousands have fled their homes in Lebanon after Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu told them to leave areas where Israel is targeting Hezbollah, adding that the war is not against the people of Lebanon, but with Hezbollah. Meanwhile, the war in Gaza rages on. At least 30 people were killed in Israeli shelling and airstrikes on Tuesday local time. And this was News Highlights. It's that time for Wagga Wagga. We have Haley back in the studio.
Hello.
All right, so we're going to dive into our first issue. So the first story is a sports-related matter, and we're going to talk about doping. When we usually talk about doping, we think like elite sports, right? Pros. But apparently this doping is way more common than you might expect, even here in South Korea.
Drugs are everywhere.
Apparently.
Unfortunately so.
Yes.
And weight training, amateur bodybuilding, maybe even those, what are they called? The body profile, the body...
Yeah, the body profile.
Yeah, the body profile pictures, right?
Yes.
They are gaining popularity. So a lot of people are trying to get fit, but unfortunately that has spread to doping, which is a form of drug abuse for these performance-enhancing drugs. So when we say doping or performance-enhancing drugs, we usually mean these 2 types. There are several, but these are the most common ones. Number 1, anabolic steroids.
Yes.
And these are basically a man-made version of testosterone, and that can help boost muscle development. And then second type is ephedrine, Ephedrine accelerates and stimulates basically it's man-made adrenaline. So it makes you not tired. So you can just go on and on and on. It increases tolerance, long-lasting performance, and prevents fatigue.
Yes.
So this has been on the elite level, a problem in the bodybuilding industry for decades. In fact, the National Sports Festival, or 전국체전, actually got rid of their amateur bodybuilding category for this year because it's meaningless. There's so much doping involved.
Oh my goodness.
But then that has trickled down to the non-professionals or just everyday usage. As you can see on our YouTube page, that horrifying picture of used syringes everywhere, that's at a gym. That's just at a random gym in Seochogu, I believe.
Yes.
So a trainer in Wonju, Gangwon province last year was sentenced to a 2 million won fine for selling and administering illegal steroids for his customers. And according to the Ministry of Sports data that was released by Democratic Party lawmaker Min Young-bae, in the past decade, there were 239 cases caught in sports competitions for doping. There were 42 cases involving minors. Minors. They're underage. And this is so disturbing. 1 case with a 9-year-old.
9-year-old. So we're talking like first or second grade?
Second grade, I believe.
Oh my gosh.
Right. So an investigative report by 조선일보 had a reporter join an online community that shares information on such steroids. And he was given just in the first couple hours multiple offers about both pills and shots and anything else he wanted. And that picture you saw was a bathroom at a gym in Seochogu district, which showed dozens of discarded syringes in the bathroom bin.
Well, now that we've been shocked, what are the authorities doing about this?
Well, here's another shocking part. Not much.
Really?
Not much.
Can they not do so?
They can, and that's the issue. They can, as of 2022, under the revisions of the Pharmaceutical Act, selling and buying steroids without a prescription is a punishable crime. However, the Ministry of Food and Drug Safety has not enforced this in even a single instance. So it's never been enforced, basically. And then there are hundreds of sellers on Instagram, but only 3 cases were caught, on Telegram, but only 3 cases were caught this year. 2 last year and the year before, 2 last year in 2021 and none in 2022.
Really?
So there isn't much, isn't much enforcement going on.
Right.
And by the way, of course, doctors warn of side effects, which can range in a whole variety, but ultimately you could die from it.
Yes.
You could die from it from cardiac arrest, so it does burden your heart, or there have been cases of bacterial infections. And you should also never put needles in your body if it's not administered by the doctor. So
never. And then I just remember even back in the day, when I was in high school, there's shrinkage of stuff, for male.
Right. Yeah, it does affect your,
Anyhow, this is a serious issue, but thanks for bringing to light for our waivers. Well, we all know that this was an unusually hot summer, and the meteorologists who forecast how hot this summer was going to be, well, they apparently have a grim projection. Oh no, for this winter.
I mean, we do appreciate people being good at their job, but we also hate it when they're right. We're going to talk about Kaemyeong University's environmental engineering professor, Kim Hae-dong, who back in June said that temperatures will exceed 40 degrees Celsius this summer. We kind of were like, you're ridiculous, but that did happen in Yeosu and Yeoju and other areas. So he said that it all goes back to ocean temperatures. That when we are going to talk about land temperatures, we need to look at what's around us because 90% of the heat is absorbed by the water and the earth is 70% water. So basically and this is right, we're essentially just a giant island floating in an even more giant sea in a body of water.
Yes.
So if all the water surrounding us gets hot, then of course the land is bound to get hot. And this is what Professor Kim said about the weather moving forward. Fall is barely going to be there because that has been the unfortunate trend in the past decade.
Right.
So last year we had temperatures going up to 29 degrees Celsius as daytime highs for November. And by the way, isn't that the daytime high forecast for today? So that'll continue. And then what happened last year is that the day after it dropped by 20 degrees. And plummeted into single digits the next day. So from kind of summer to winter almost immediately. So he and other meteorologists say that we have another bout of the heat coming this week, actually. Nearly 30 degrees Celsius starting today, right? And then on to the rest of the country. And he does expect this pattern to continue into November.
Into November?
Yeah.
Okay, so I got to ask, I'm kind of scared to ask, what about winter?
So brace yourselves for a freezing winter. He compared this winter to 2021 and 2022, where temperatures in some parts of the country plummeted 18 below zero, so negative 18. This is likely due to global patterns. We are making a switch, according to a lot of experts, from El Nino, where it does get hotter, to La Nina, where the East Pacific Ocean gets cold, and that tends to bring the cold front down to us.
Right. Oh, goodness. So it's going to go from hot, very, very tiny, short fall, and then winter.
Yeah. Which is kind of why we're talking about fashion, because it's how do you dress for that?
We don't even need fall clothes at this point.
We really don't.
Yeah. All right. Next up, Seoul City's Foreign Domestic Workers Program is in the middle of its trial run. We've talked about it here on Morning Wave in Busan, but apparently 2 of the workers just basically stopped showing up for work.
Right. So the Ministry of Labor confirmed that 2 of the Filipino domestic workers have not shown up to their respective jobs since the Chuseok holidays. So they apparently even packed their bags and left their dorm. And one of them didn't take her phone. The other one did, but turned her phone off. One of them got in contact with her family in the Philippines, but the authorities have not been able to get in contact with either one of them.
I see.
So here's the rule. If a migrant migrant worker, not just in this case, but for all, if they miss work without permission for 5 business days, they are reported as having left the workforce. And that report will be made tomorrow. Tomorrow will be day 5.
Sure.
And after this report, if the Ministry of Justice cannot figure out their whereabouts, or if these workers don't respond to the return order, they're classified as undocumented migrants. So they become 불법 체류자.
Oh, that's definitely not good.
So it's a legal issue at that point.
Do we know why they left?
Well, there are a couple different accounts. I mean, of course, we wouldn't know until we actually get, stories from them. But number one, according to reports and some workers, there may have been a wage issue, and some experts are saying, well, that was expected. Here's the thing. When the workers arrived in South Korea on August 6th, they were given 960,000 won in training fees and 1.06 million won for part 2 of the training fees. So collectively 2 million won. But the thing is, after taxes, insurance, and housing fees deducted, they actually received about 500,000 won into their pocket, at least in the first round.
Okay.
So the workers were apparently not satisfied on this agreed upon salary, because they're working 40 hours per week at 2.06 million won. And we're not saying, if we factor that as per hour rates, we're not saying that's low.
Yes.
But the thing is, if you work, for example, the full 52-hour work week at a factory, as many people do, then they can make up to 3 million won. So that's the issue. And then also, though, Seoul City yesterday held a mini discussion forum with not these 2 workers that have left, but other 2 Filipino domestic workers. And at least according to their story, they themselves were satisfied with the salary, but then that's just a small sampling. But they also brought up an interesting issue about, because they're staying in the dorms in Gangnam, there's apparently a 10 p.m. curfew.
Oh, there's a curfew.
There's a 10 p.m. curfew.
Okay.
So they're saying, after they're done with work, it's about 8 p.m. They come back to the dorms, it's 9 p.m. There isn't much they can do. So it is a work in progress. There's, of course, going to be a transition period. And Seoul City is currently sending messages to the other workers, and it's looking into giving payments on a weekly basis, too.
Hopefully this won't happen with other workers. All right, next. This is a story straight out of a movie. A child kidnapped 70 years later has been found. I was so tempted to do this as well.
Right.
I was like,
is she going to do it? Is she going to do it?
Okay.
So, of course, he's no longer a child, but Mr. Luis Armando Albino, he was 6 years old back in 1951. He was abducted while playing with his older brother at a park in Oakland, California. 7 decades later, thanks to an online ancestry test, old photos, newspaper clippings, and serious detective work by his niece, he was found. He found his family.
Right.
So what happened back in 1951, a woman lured the boy with candy. She kidnapped a child, and he was flown to the East Coast. And details are unclear, but he was raised by a different couple as their son.
Sure.
His mother, unfortunately, biological mother, died in 2005 with hopes that her son was still alive. The family apparently had hung his photo at the relatives' houses too, and they were always just kind of looking for him actively and inactively. And then a twist. His niece, those DNA tests, they've been very popular in the States.
Yes.
Not so much in Korea, but there's an online DNA test that you can take, and she took it just for fun. And it showed a 22% match with the man who would turn out to be Mr. Albino. But he initially didn't respond to her inquiry. So she then went to the local public library for newspaper pictures of her missing uncle. And then she took the case to the police. And they thought that this was enough evidence to open a new missing persons case.
Wow.
They worked with the FBI, and that's the photo that she found at the public library. They worked with the FBI, who is always in charge of kidnapping and child abduction cases.
Yes.
Long story short, they found him on the East Coast. He didn't really disclose where exactly he lived.
That's chills. 70 years.
Yeah, so there was a very, very tearful reunion with his older brother and his sister. Mr. Albino is a father and a grandfather. He has served in the Marine Corps. He served in Vietnam. He's a retired firefighter. And now he has this whole other family.
Wow. This is just another example for families who might be
right, because we do say, there's a
Yes.
golden time, but that's right. The niece also said that she really hopes her story and the family story can give families in similar situations hope that things can turn out
Absolutely.
better, even if it's 7 decades later.
70 years. We're going to call it a wrap on that happy note. We'll check in with you tomorrow. Thank you, Haley.
Have a great day.
All right, it is time to go back to you, the waivers. We have some more OOTD, so we're going to be posting. First up, who do we have on our YouTube channel? Let's see the photo as our producer brings it up. I believe, I know who that is. That is Taejin Waiver. And by the way, 이게 진짜 중요해요. 저도 캐서린처럼 블랙 좋아해요. 그게 중요한 게 아니라 차에서 내려서 사진 찍게 만드는 Morning Wave in Busan PD님. Tommy. At Tommy, are you listening? I know your company doesn't allow you to take photos. 근데 왜 나가서 안 찍었어요, Tommy님? He actually got out of his car and took the photo. That's the important thing. So yes, thank you for everybody who's sending in your photos. And for those of you who can't, yes. And then we have another person. I believe this is 고수님. Sending in a photo. So for those of you who can't see on our NoTube right now, he's wearing a black t-shirt and jeans. Very casual. That's what I would be wearing, I swear, if I were not on camera right now. And then we have Young님, who is joining us through Kakao. And he actually says he really, 남자라서 그런지 옷장에 많은 아이템은 정장 관련 아이템과 네이비 남색이네요. I love navy, but today he's wearing a very kind of like creamy white, like a very dove gray on gray, cream on cream. So you guys are just like living it up, and thank you for sending in your photos, taking the time out of your busy schedules to actually, and then we had very specific rules like neck down, please, or like, try to cover your face so we could share the photos, and we do appreciate it. And also for other people who sent in not photos, but just messages as well, like Choi Hee-sung-nim saying that she really enjoys, like most of her wardrobe is dark gray. We appreciate that as well. All right, well, we got to get to your updated traffic and weather. All right, it is now time for your updated traffic. It looks slow on Chungnyeoldaero from Minam to Daesung intersection. It's also backed up on Gwangan Bridge towards Namcheon. Congestion detected on Puam overpass towards Jinyang intersection. Also, traffic on Dongso overpass from Kamdong ramp to the old Kegum tollgate. As for the weather, it's currently 22. It's going to go up to 29. However, some rain is forecast for this afternoon. Light rain is forecast sporadically across the nation with thunder and lightning forecast in some areas. This was your traffic and weather. And so this is Brother Louie Mix 98. This is by Modern Talking.
Deep love is a burning fire, stay, 'cause then the flames grows higher, babe. Don't let him steal your heart, it's easy. Girl, this game can't last forever. Why? We cannot live together. Try. Don't let him take your love from you. You're no good, can't you see, brother Louie, Louie, Louie? I'm in love, set to free. Oh, she's only looking to me. Only love breaks a heart, brother Louie, Louie, Louie. Only love's paradise, oh, she's only looking to me. Brother Louie, Louie, Louie. Oh, she's only looking to me. Oh, let it Louie. She's undercover. Brother Louie, Louie, Louie. Oh, doing what he's doing. So leave it Louie, 'cause I'm a lover. 'cause this boy wants to gamble, stay. Loves more than he can handle, girl. Oh, come and stay by me forever, ever. Why does he go on pretending that his love is never ending, babe? Don't let him steal your love from me. You're no good, can't you see, brother Louie, Louie, Louie? I'm in love, set her free. Oh, she's only looking to me. Only love breaks a heart, brother Louie, Louie, Louie. Only love's paradise. Oh, she's only looking to me. Brother Louie, Louie, Louie. Oh, she's only looking to me. Oh, let it Louie. She's undercover. Brother Louie, Louie, Louie. Oh, doing what he's doing. So leave it Louie, 'cause I'm a lover.
Welcome back, everybody. Before we get into our special interview, we're going to talk about our text topic one last time. And today, the reason why we're talking about outfit of the day, OOTD, in the first place, because it's kind of that in-between season, transitioning from summer into fall. And as you heard, Haley just talked about the fact that we're going to have a very short fall season. And according to experts, a really extremely cold winter season. And so I guess for now, we're going to just have to enjoy what nature's giving us in terms of the beautiful weather. Actually, for the next couple of days, it's going to be quite warm, summer-like temperatures again, and then hopefully back to fall temperatures. And we are still taking your photos, meaning send in your OOTD, or outfit of the day. And if you can please send in your photos from the neck down, just for your sake, so we can post on our YouTube channel. 그래서 목 아래까지 사진 보내주시면 we can share with our other waivers on our YouTube channel. That would be great as well. But for now, I'm really excited to get into our special interview because we have our guest in the studio today. So we'll be back in just a moment. All right, Wavers, we are smack in the middle of something called 2024 Busan Global City Week. And we're right in the middle of it, as I said, in the midway point. It kicked off on the 23rd. It's going to the 27th. And we're exploring Busan's potential as an important international business city. There are various events that have been taking place to focus on strengthening ties with European port cities, along with Busan Global City Forum. There have been bilateral talks, or there are going to be, between city leaders and among them. And also the 12th Busan International Port Conference. Our city has welcomed a number of European businesses to foster global connections and continues to expand on these efforts. So for today's special interview, we want to hear more about how Busan City is working, hopefully tirelessly, toward becoming a top global hub city. So today, we are joined in person by Mr. Andrew Stanley Millard, the Busan chapter representative from the European Chamber of Commerce in Korea, ECCK. Hi, welcome to the program.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing great. So obviously, we've met before, but not in this official capacity, right? So welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. So tell us about how you think Busan is engaging with cities, across the UK and obviously Europe as well, and why you think these type of exchanges are important.
Okay. So firstly, before I answer that
Yes.
one, I'm really happy to hear we're going to have a cold winter. 'Cause
Are you?
I'm tired of this long, hot summer.
Oh,
so
are
I'm ready
you?
for the cooler weather.
Yeah, I mean, we are too because I don't know about you, but it's like this long summer with the AC going like full throttle for
Right.
like 3 months, 4 months. It's just like nonstop, right?
Right.
We're ready.
So-
Yes.
So I'm ready to get back to UK weather.
Oh, UK weather, really?
Somewhere like the UK. So to answer your question
Yes.
before, so I've lived in Korea now for 20 years, in Busan for just over 18. And Busan's always tried to have good connections with other cities.
Yes.
But it's been mostly in Asia in the past. And really in the past few years, I've definitely seen a big shift where they're trying to become more global. So moving out of Asia as well.
Sure.
So this move towards the UK, towards Europe, I think it's really significant to globalize Korea, globalize Busan. But for me, really, the key word is awareness.
Awareness.
So you have a lot of our companies, when they come to Korea,
Yes.
they're always thinking Seoul.
True.
So for most foreigners, Korea is Seoul, and that's it. And so
That's sad, but
Seoul
so
is such
true.
a big city.
It is.
It's just a huge magnet for everyone.
Right.
And not enough people outside of Korea know about Busan. They don't know about everything we have down here.
Sadly, yes.
And so what Busan is doing now, sort of expanding into Europe, into the UK with these new sister cities, I think this really is going to maximize the awareness of Busan. And hopefully more people will think less about Seoul and more about Busan.
Do you think that the awareness that you just mentioned, that it is growing?
I think so, for sure.
Okay, well, that's definitely good because we want to, the first step is, of course, making sure people know where and what Busan is, right?
So you said just before,
Yes.
and this week, I think everyone in the world is coming to Busan. There seems to be a million events
Yes.
this week. But I've been speaking to a lot of different people at these different events.
Yes.
And they've all said, oh, we've been to Busan before. It's great to be back. And we're going to
really?
tell our friends to come back to Busan. So it is
Oh.
definitely working.
Right. And the fact that they're coming, they said that they've been here before, that
Right.
they're repeat visitors. That's
Right.
definitely a good thing. Well, this year, delegations from of the many cities, but we have from Hamburg, Germany, from Koper, Slovenia, Genoa, Italy, and Liverpool City. They're visiting Busan, if I'm not mistaken. So from what I understand, Busan signed a metropolitan partnership agreement with Liverpool in 2022. So can you tell us about the significance of this particular partnership?
So for all of them, just to start with,
Yes.
you'll notice they're all port cities.
Yes,
So this is really a very important strategy that Busan's having. We're not just aiming for any city that we can have a partnership with.
Right.
They're being very strategic.
Okay.
What does this city have in similar, what similarities are there with Busan?
Yes.
How can we sort of synergize the two sort of cities? So this is great. For Liverpool in particular, this is historically a very big port city.
Yes.
And also connected through the ship canals to Manchester, which was the start of the Industrial Revolution.
Right.
So you have this big industrial impact as well. So I think really for Busan, Liverpool's an excellent choice.
And so in terms of fostering collaboration with not just Liverpool and Busan, but European businesses, because I mean, let's face it, business, that's what we thrive on. That's what's going to make all of our cities grow, all of our partnerships and sister cities grow. So these collaboration with European businesses, why do you think this is going to be the key point? Why it's so important for these relationships to thrive?
So I think obviously in the capitalist world, increased competition
Yes.
is great. This drives innovation. And so I think for Busan, for Korea, as we get more Europeans coming in, investing more, we're just going to see more and more innovation in different sectors.
Right.
So obviously, Korea, Busan has been really export-driven over
Right.
the past few decades. But we're now seeing a big shift towards different industries, smart industries, green industries, and so on. So especially these days in this region, offshore wind, renewable energies are
Right.
becoming a very big issue. And Europe in particular, especially the UK,
Yes.
Northern Europe, is a leader in those technologies.
Sure.
So as we bring more European technology in, this is going to drive new Korean markets as well.
Right. And what do you think the benefits of having these partnerships with these European cities will be for Busan and vice versa? If we can get into kind of more detail, like we want it to be a win-win situation overall, right?
Right.
Yes.
So really for Europe and Korea on the
Yes.
whole, Europe has advantages. So like we said, renewable energies
Right.
and things like that. But Korea, to be honest, compared to Europe in
Right.
terms of IT infrastructure, digitalization, I think is much further ahead of Europe. And so we can learn from each other.
Sure.
So from Europe coming into Korea, certain industries, but then from Korea going into Europe, other industries. So it's very much a win-win situation. But for Busan, obviously the more new industries coming in, the more foreign investment coming into Busan, this is going to create a lot of jobs as well.
Oh, and that's so important, right? And we always talk about how, the brain drain from like the youth, the talented youth.
Right.
The mass exodus from Busan or even all the regional areas to like the Seoul area. We want to prevent that.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So, of course, if we have more of these partnerships going on, we can kind of
And
hold
of
on
course,
to the youth.
as we get more, not just European, but more foreign businesses
Yes,
coming
yes.
into Busan, obviously the culture, the whole society is going to start to globalize, change as well. So.
Well, I do want to find out more about this organization, the ECCK, European Chamber of Commerce in Korea. Can you tell us more about this?
So our main role is really advocacy. So what we usually do is for the European companies that are already investing in Korea, we provide them with connections, with links to the central authorities, the different ministries, but also local authorities. So down here in Busan, we work very closely with Busan City Hall, with Ulsan City,
Yes.
Changwon City. So we cover Gyeongnam as well. So we're linking all of these different industries with the local authorities. We're providing information sessions, so like tax updates.
Yes.
A couple of weeks ago, we had a women's leadership event. So we invited the European Union ambassador down to Busan.
Right.
And she came down with another CEO of IKEA. And they gave a very interesting talk on women's leadership and how in Busan we can get more women into leadership roles in the future as well.
Indeed.
So we do really a lot of different things. But advocacy and
Yes.
networking, I think, are our two main.
So, as I said earlier in the intro, that we're smack in the middle of this Busan Global City Week. So these events and conferences and seminars are so much going on right now, as you just said. Why do you think these types of events are important? Not just for, making connections or networking, but why is it really essential, do you think, for all the entities and for Busan overall?
Okay, so first one, I'm actually going to slightly disagree and say actually the networking is very important. So especially when you get the foreign companies coming in,
Yes.
a lot of the managers, it's their first time in Korea. They don't know about Korean culture. They can't
okay.
speak Korean.
Yes.
And so what you'll find is there's a bit of a disconnect between the foreign group and the Korean group.
That's
and so
important.
through our networking, we're trying to bridge those two different
sure.
groups.
Yes.
So again, provide this further innovation. But at the start of the interview, I said also awareness
Yes.
is really the key. And again, I think these different events, we're coming back to this same issue. We're just driving more and more awareness of what different industries Busan and Gyeongnam has. So the different parts. So Busan is tourism, financial, smart technologies. Then we have Ulsan, which is heavy industries,
Right.
Renewable energies, automobiles, things like that.
Sure.
Changwon defense industries, whatever. So through these industries, more and more people are learning not just about the port city of Busan,
Yes.
but about the whole industrial infrastructure of the region.
That this whole area.
So again, this just awareness about what we have down here is just
Yes.
continually growing and growing.
Right. Well, I know that you've lived in Korea, but also in Busan for a while now. So if you don't mind me asking you, what is it that you love about living in Busan? Obviously, a foreign national. But what do you love about Busan the most that you like to relay and share with anybody who's listening, for visitors who come to Busan, especially during this very important week? What do you love sharing about Busan?
So for me, I lived in Seoul for about 6 months, a long time ago. To be honest, if I'm going to be honest, I didn't like living in Seoul. Seoul is it's too big. It's the literal definition of a concrete jungle.
I agree.
Whereas Busan, we have this big city, population 3.5 million, again with surrounding cities as well. You have everything you want to do here, but you also have the nice beaches, you have the mountains, there's ways to escape, there's every type of industry, there's huge potential for growth. So in terms of a city that has everything, I really think you can't beat Busan.
And you've experienced Seoul and Busan.
I've done a lot of different jobs and
yes.
things. Yes,
right. So you heard it from Andrew.
You heard it from me.
Yes, from Mr. Millard, how amazing our city is. But thank you for coming into the studio to share with our listeners. And, we don't have listeners just in Busan. They're listening from literally all over, not just Korea, but all over the world. So to share about Busan Global City Week. So, of course, best luck to you, all your endeavors. And we hope to speak to you again. Thank you.
Okay, great.
All right, everybody, this was our special interview. Once again, lots of events going on. This is going on until the 27th. This entire week is Busan Global City Week, and this was our special interview. We're going to get to... Here's the next song. This is Park Life by Blur.
Confidence is a preference for the habitual voyeur of what is known as. A morning suit can be avoided if you take a route straight through what is known as. John Scott Brewer's group, he gets intimidated by the dirty pigeons. They love a bit of him. Who's that gut lord marching? You should cut down on your pork life, mate. Get some exercise. All the people. Many people, and they all go hand in hand through their dark life. You know what I mean? I get up when I want, except on Wednesdays when I get rudely awakened by the dustman. I put my trousers on, have a cup of tea, and I think about leaving the house. I feed the pigeons, I sometimes feed the sparrows too. It gives me a sense of enormous well-being. And then I'm happy for the rest of the day, safe in the knowledge there will always be a bit of my heart devoted to it. All the people, so many people, they all go hand in hand through their park life. Park life. It's got nothing to do with your four-sprung dirge technique, you know. And it's not about you joggers who go round, 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 round. All the people, so many people, and they all go hand in hand through their park life. All the people, so many people, and they all go hand in hand
Get your local up-to-date news from Korea and abroad right here on Morning Wave in Busan with Catherine. Stay tuned.
It is now time for Jennifer with Skills 101. Hello.
Hi.
Hey, so our text topic today. Did everybody, like all of our guests, I'm thinking, were they listening like before they came in? Because like Leon, she heard while she was getting ready, so she put on like a really pretty outfit today. Today's text topic is OOTD. Outfit of the day. Yes. And you look so lovely. I love it. Like
thank you.
The mustard yellow. It looks so pretty on you.
Oh, thanks.
Yes.
And you too.
But is there like a most common color or item that you have in your closet? Because I know you do lots of presenting for business. Maybe it's a scarf, like some people, they're into scarves. Some people are into belts. Or people wear a lot of black.
The color I'm really into is beige.
Beige. Is that your personal color, or do you just personally like it?
I just like it. So much different, like tone of beige. Yeah.
You know, I'm into my. I have a lot of black, but right now I don't know. I'm falling into navy.
Oh, navy
I'm falling
is good
into
color.
like the red of navy, and some people might think it's boring, but I don't think it's boring.
There's a subtle difference between like black and navy,
Right,
because the
navy's my
navy
thing
makes
right
you look younger.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
I didn't
That's what people
know.
say.
Let's go shopping for navy.
Yeah. And then I wear more silver than gold nowadays. Because also for the same reason.
Silver makes you look
yeah.
So it's all about the youth factor.
Yeah.
Silver and navy over black and gold.
You know, when you go to hairdresser, like when you're young, you say,
Yes.
"Oh, make me look nice and pretty."
Pretty.
And now,
Make me look younger. Is that what
yeah.
Interesting. Interesting. All right. We're going to jump into our topic for today. What do you have for us?
Okay, so let me ask you a quick question before we jump in. Is there a particular tone or way of speaking that really bothers you when you're having a conversation with someone, something that really bugs you?
Oh, yes. For example.
Tell me one thing.
Okay, one thing. When somebody talks to me like I'm a child, like I can't understand, and I'm thinking in my head, why are you talking to me? I'm smiling, but in my head, I'm thinking, why are you talking to me like a child? I am fully able to comprehend everything coming out of your mouth. Talk to me like an adult.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
So teacher tone. Like
I don't appreciate it.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I'm a grown adult.
Yeah.
I don't appreciate that tone.
Oh, I know what you mean. Today, I'd like to talk about something that can make a huge difference in our personal and professional lives. Communication styles that push people away.
Oh, and you know what the thing is? This is really good because maybe we're doing it and we don't even know.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So
That's
important.
Right.
What's the first example of an unpleasant way of communicating?
One of the most common is sarcastic or mocking tones. You know, when someone makes a comment that sounds like a joke but has a bit of edge to it, it often leaves the other person feeling belittled or disrespected. For example, if someone says, "Oh, so you actually did your job for once?"
How would we say that in Korean? 웬일이야? 제대로 했네.
일을 제대로 했네. 네. It might sound like they are teasing, but it's really like just a veiled insult, right?
Oh, yeah. That is very insulting. And that can be really uncomfortable too, I'm thinking.
Yeah. And I mean, you can make it as a joke, but some people, they just have a habit of saying it, like using this tone all the time.
Yes. Okay, so give us something else. Like, how should we deal with someone who talks like this?
The key is to address it with a smile, but be direct. You can say something like, "Hey, that's not funny." You can say it directly.
Can we try it? Okay, so I'm going to say, 웬일이에요? 제니퍼 씨 오늘 좀 했네요. 너무 얄밉다.
너무
얄밉다.
저 항상 잘하거든요. 이거 더 얄밉죠?
Yes.
알아주셔서 감사해요.
And then like, 알아줘서 감사해요. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you for noticing.
Yeah, I always do my job. Thanks for mentioning it. Thanks for
Oh,
noticing.
that's a good one. I'm glad we did the role play. Okay. That's a good
so
one.
this approach puts the responsibility on the speaker without sending a too confrontational message. So,
Instead of saying like, I always do a good job. Like something like that.
Getting angry and raising your voice. If the sarcasm continues, you may need to set firmer boundaries by letting them know it's not something you appreciate or find funny. Because some people think they're being funny.
Yeah, okay. Now, let's talk about another type of communication style to watch out for.
This is something I really hate personally.
Yes, what is it?
There are people who always blame others. It's never their fault.
I hate people like this.
Yeah, this is when someone never takes responsibility for their mistakes, and instead of like constantly pointing fingers at others, other people, other things, it might sound like, oh, it's not my fault. You didn't explain it properly. You should have explained properly. Yeah.
제 잘못이 아니에요. 설명을 제대로 안 했잖아요.
했잖아요. 네.
Oh, you know what my niece says lately? She's at school. She says her favorite phrase right 요즘에 is like 그게 아니라 and like it starts with a 그게 아니라 and then like I have that look at and I give her the evil emo look like because I know.
Does she get it?
Yeah, she gets it, but she continues. And she goes into it's not my fault. It's someone else's fault.
It becomes a habit, you know.
Blaming others.
Yeah, if only like saying something like, oh, if you only had done your part.
Yes.
This wouldn't have happened.
It's not my fault. It's someone else's fault.
So this kind of talk can be really damaging to relationships. And it makes the other person feel defensive or unfairly criticized.
Right. Well, this definitely, I'm sure, is much more common. And even some of our listeners saying, yeah, man, blaming others is really my concern, meaning, you know, people, it happens a lot more frequently than people, like to think. Right.
Well, what helps is to redirect the conversation. You can say something like, I understand things didn't go as planned, but let's focus on finding a solution rather than assigning blames on others.
Okay.
So this way, you're not letting the blame affect the conversation, but you're encouraging a more constructive dialogue.
Okay. So what's another kind of like off-putting conversational style?
Oh, another thing I hate, and I try not to do it myself. Another big one is constant negativity.
그냥 just constant.
네. 너무 부정적이잖아요, 항상. 네. Some people tend to focus only on the problems, no matter what.
Yes.
For instance, you share good news and they immediately point out a potential issue or downside.
Right.
It can feel like they are draining the positivity out of the conversation. It might sound like, oh, Catherine, you got a promotion? Well, now you'll probably have more stress and less time for yourself.
That's so mean.
네.
That's so
너무
negative.
바빠서 힘들어지시겠어요. 이런 거죠.
That's such a backhanded way of saying like, oh, that's so mean and negative and that's a mood killer.
Yeah, even like today, the weather is so lovely, and some people say, "Oh, I'm sure it's going to get cold."
Right.
Tomorrow.
Right now, tomorrow. Right. Being negative, like being a Debbie Downer. So what's the best way to handle like a mood killer or somebody so negative?
One way to counter negativity is to reframe the conversation. You can acknowledge their concern, but shift the focus back to something positive. I mean, some people worry more than others. Naturally, yeah.
Right.
For example, you could say, oh, that's true, but I'm really excited about the new opportunities this will bring. I'm sure the weather will stay nice for another week or two. Yeah. It's about steering the conversation toward a more balanced perspective. If they continue to be negative, sometimes you just need to distance yourself a bit.
Really? So as Drift Monkey says, a negative Nancy. Right. And then Umberto earlier, it was the teacher's fault that my grades are low.
Yeah.
That's a good one. It's not my fault. Yes.
I have a family member at home.
Yes.
And she always tells me, oh, I'm late because you didn't wake me up.
I have one at home too. She always says for one particular chemistry, she's always like, oh, but the teacher.
Oh.
The teacher. 너무 선생님께서 막 뭐 문제를 뭐 꽈가지고 like
yeah, it didn't explain it well.
꽈배기 먹으라고 그러면 뭘 자꾸 꽈? Like she always blames the difficulty of the questions. Yes, but anyhow, enough about her. Yes.
Yeah, and then another one is know-it-all attitude.
Yes.
I've been there, I've done that, you know. This is when someone always has to correct you or offer, advice. Even if you didn't ask for it.
Give us an example.
Yeah, it might sound like, actually, you should have done it this way. It works much better this way.
왜 이렇게 안 했어요?
네. Or I've always found my method much more effective. That's not the way. That's not the way to do it.
I'm getting embarrassed just hearing about it, but I think I do it to my family. I have like
most people do.
I have occupational hazard. I'm always correcting their English grammar, like constantly. Sorry. Yes, I'll stop. Yes.
Yeah, okay.
So this can be frustrating, especially when you don't ask for someone else's opinion, but they're constantly kind of like shoving it down your throat, right?
Oh yeah.
Right.
So a good way to deal with this is to politely shut it down. You could say something like, "Thanks for your input, but I'm happy how I handle it." Or I appreciate your advice, but I think I'll stick to my approach. I'll try it this way.
I like that. Thank you for advice.
So you're being polite, but firm about
It's
your
kinda like,
boundaries. Yeah.
Thank you, but no thank you. In a nice way. Like, thanks, but that's enough. All right.
Personally, what I hate the most.
Yes. What's your personal? Yes.
Blaming other people in different way. Like, Catherine said this. It's not my opinion.
Shudder.
Like, people think you are like this. Always.
That's
a nasty
terrible.
one.
That's a nasty one because like you're borrowing from somebody else and like blaming others and then like putting words in other people's mouths.
다른 사람들이 그러던데. 네.
Oh, that's the worst.
I hate that.
I have choice words that we can't say on air for people like that. However, if we had to conclude, what would you say?
The most important thing is to stay calm.
Yes.
Breathe. And not get drawn into the negativity or sarcasm.
Yes.
It's easy to get defensive, but that can escalate the situation. Never raise your voice. I think that doesn't help in any situation.
But it's so tempting.
Yeah.
It's difficult.
If possible, set clear boundaries when needed and protect your own peace of mind. Distance yourself from negative people.
Well, today it was real.
Yeah.
And so we do appreciate it.
I love the role play we did.
We got to do more of it.
Yeah.
People are loving it. So we look forward to next week as well, Jennifer. Have a wonderful
me too.
week.
Have a nice week. Bye-bye.
All right. So every time Jennifer comes on, I always tell myself, look at myself. Because I don't want to be guilty of constant negativity or just blaming others or any of the things that she talks about. So I think it's a good opportunity to look kind of inside ourselves, to reflect a little bit. We say it in jest, but it's really, really constructive. And apparently many of you are also chiming in with the whole, all the advice that Jennifer gave about, blaming others. And yes, I know that we always think that we're right, but oftentimes we're really not. So we're going to end it on this one, Lazy on a Sunday Afternoon by Queen. I wish you a lovely day. Have a good one, everybody. Bye-bye.
Ordinary guy. Fridays I go painting in the